everyone, so today we're going to look at simultaneous equations, solving them two different ways. The first way we're going to look at is the substitution method. So this is my favourite one. It's a little bit quicker than the second one I'm going to show you. So here are the steps you need to follow, and here is the question. So the question looks like this. Y minus 3x equals 0, and then the other equation is 2x plus 2y equals 24. So we're going to use this substitution method, and we first of all are going to rearrange one of the equations. I'll talk to you about that in a sec. We're going to substitute into the other equation. This is why it's called the substitution method, and we're going to then solve for both of the variables. Okay, so first of all, over here. First of all, we're going to rearrange one of the equations. So we've got two equations. We're going to number them 1 and 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the equations and we're going to see which one is going to be nice and easy to rearrange. I think this one, because I can rearrange for y pretty easily here. It depends on how much you like to rearrange. So I'm going to rearrange number 1. So rearrange number 1. So instead of to make y the subject, instead of having y minus 3 equals 0, I'm now going to have y moving over the 3x over to the other side. I'm going to have y equals 3x. So I'm going to use this equation that I've rearranged now to substitute into the other equation. So I'm just going to take the second equation, write it out again. Okay, and I'm going to substitute that rearranged version into here. So because y equals 3x, I'm going to replace this y here with 3x. Okay, so I'm going to move that up a little bit. So 2x now plus 2, and in brackets I'm going to put the substitution, equals to 24. Work out what that is. So 2x plus 6x equals to 24 now. And so simplify, so I'm going to have 8x equals to 24. So now all I need to do is divide both sides by 8. So x is equal to 3. So that's my first variable value found. Now I've got the x. I'm going to go back to the simpler equation I was given, number 1, and I'm going to sub in that value of x into there. So y minus 3x equals 0, or I could even do I could even use the rearranged version. That made it a bit more difficult for myself here. So I'm going to do y minus 3 times 3 equals 0, because I'm subbing in the x value to here. So 3 3s are 9, so y minus 9 equals 0, so therefore it's like a 3 dots like that as well. Therefore y must be equal to positive 9. Okay, so I've got now my two variable values, x and y. Right, so that would be one way to solve a simultaneous equation. The second way to solve a simultaneous equation, I'll just put my papers in order here, is with the subtraction method. So let's have a look at this question. With the subtraction method, we have to subtract the two away, or we do this. So first of all, we're going to adjust one of the variables so that they match up. The second thing we're going to do is subtract the equations away from each other. That will eliminate one of the variables, and then we're going to sub into the other equation. So it finishes off like the other one did as well. So, okay, let's have a look at this one now. So here, we can't subtract straight away because that won't eliminate one of the variables, because they've both got to be the same size. So we've got 3y's, 1y, 4x's, 2x's. I'm going to choose to make the x's the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double, which times by 2, the whole of this equation here. Okay, so if I double it, that gives me 4x plus 2y equals 6. So what I've just done is I've just made it twice the size. Okay, move that over that bit. Right, so once I've done that, you can see that these now become the same size. So that means that we can eliminate by subtraction. So if I label these 1 and 2, we're going to subtract 1 from 2. So let's just do it like subtraction. 4x take away 4x gives me 0 x's. You can write that if you want, there's no point. 3y's take away 2y's gives me 1y, which we just write as a y. And then 5 take away 6, and I have to do it in the same way I did these, gives me negative 1. That's important to make sure you do it the same way around. There's no point in saying 3y take away 2y is 1y, and then 5 take away 6 or 6 take away 5 and doing it the other way around to give you a positive answer. That will then mess up, your answer will be wrong. Okay, so we've got one value, y equals negative 1. So now what we're going to do is substitute y equals negative 1 into, and you can choose any of these. In fact, you could choose that one if you wanted to, and I think that's probably a good idea because it's you don't have to multiply at all. So let's go into that one. So substitute minus 1 back into any of the equations. So 2x plus, and then I've substituted in the value for y equals, make sure I've got the right number, is 3. And then we're solving the equation. So 2x, I'm going to add 1 on, aren't we? So it equals to 4. And then 1x divided by 2, 1x equals to 2. Okay? So there we have it now. And what we've got is actually a coordinate, x and a y value, of where these two lines would cross if we plotted them on a graph. Okay, but that's another way to solve a simultaneous equation graphically. So we've done two ways methods, substitution and subtraction, but there is another way, and I'll get onto that in another video. Okay, if you found that helpful, make sure that you like and subscribe. Thanks very much.